So, what are my thoughts on the WNBA standings, league-wise, because that's the way we do playoffs seedings for as of the All-Star break, July 12th, 2023. This is the All-Star break. There's one more game, the Las Vegas Aces and the Los Angeles Spurs. But the Aces should beat the Spurs pretty easy. So we're gonna go. Well, we should. There could be an upset, but I kind of doubt it today. But anyways, game one so I see the Aces winning. I see the Aces winning most of their games in the regular season. They do have to play the Mystics 3 times in August, in mid-August to like the beginning of September area time frame. So I could see them, depending on how the Liberty do. The Liberty have had some scares though. So that leads me to believe, like against the Storm and against the Fever. So it leads me to believe that they might fall a little bit. But then the Aces, they have that occasional scare every now and then with a loss. So I could see them falling down a little bit too. It just depends on will they hold up, will the Aces be able to win against the Mystics, something that they couldn't do at all in the playoffs or in the regular season last year. And they got lucky. The Storm actually made it to the 5 seed. She played them and they were able to beat the Storm in the last, even though it was close. So if they well, we'll see though. If they could beat the Mystics all 3 times, then they'll be really solid. If they can beat them 2 out of 3, I mean that's a start. I mean, if you can get 1 win over them, that's a start. Although 2 would be even better. 2 out of 3 would be the ultimate. Would be really good. I mean, although you do have to play they have to play the 4-5 matchup, so you kind of want that, and because then it's kind of they got a tougher opponent for them, so it's like the Dream, and actually the Dream aren't that tough for them, I guess. So I don't know, we'll see though. Alright, they played and they blew them out at home by like 20, so we'll see though. But anyways, yeah. But then the Liberty, could actually gain on the Mystic, or the Aces, could. But they could also fall back a little bit as well, just because of the scares they've been having. But they could gain a little bit if they lose to Mystics, or have that little losing streak they had. They had a losing streak, and last year they turned around. But this year it looks like they're not having that. But maybe they could. They had a little bit of losing streak. So if they have that little bit of losing streak after All-Star break, or have that 3-game skid against the Mystics, and the Liberty do well to maintain it, I could see that. The Sun, I don't think they'll fall to 4 without Bree Jones. I don't think they'll get first necessarily. Maybe they could get first. Maybe. But I just don't see it because the one game they played against Aces, the Sun did without Bree Jones. It was like a 20-point blowout. So we'll see on that one. The Mystics, it depends because the Mystics could gain. I could see them starting to gain a little positive momentum. Maybe Elena Delman is out for a couple weeks, and she's out of the All-Star break, so she can rest a little bit, so that helps. And some of these players have been out, so it might hurt them a little bit. So we'll see how that all shapes up. But I could see them falling to 5th. I could see them falling to 5th or 6th and gaining. I could see them gaining a little bit, maybe challenging for that 3rd. We'll see though. I could see them challenging for that 3rd. I I see him also falling to sixth, fifth or sixth as well. I just don't see them gaining. I don't see them going to like seventh or eighth or anywhere down there. I just don't see it. The Dream, I see him challenging for top four, but right now. I don't necessarily dream challenging for that top five or top three spot. Excuse me. I see it challenging for fourth or sixth, but I don't see him challenging for five. Same with the Wings. I mean, the Wings are sneakily good, or a really good team that's surprising everywhere. I think the Wings did not do that well last year. I mean, they made the playoffs, but they were this year. I think they're sneakily better than they were last year. So we'll see. I mean, they do have to place a tough first-round opponent though in the Sun. They would, so well, we'll see in that one. They could go the distance in that one, 2 out of 3 in that one. I could see that one. 2 out of 3, or best go 3, but be 2 out of 3. The Lynx, yeah, they fall in the Wings, 107-67. They're basically down to nothing. This is kind of like one of those years, I think, for Minnesota. Either they have another losing streak. They were really hot, and people found out like what they need to do. And the Aces really showed that. And the Wings really, I think, watched that game. Actually, really paid attention to that. What they did, watch that. I think in their film session, they actually watched that game and actually went through it. I think they did. Because it shows that if they did that, it shows. Maybe they'll find a way to win. Although, Jess Shepard, I believe, is out. So, has been out for a while, so. Yeah, maybe. I mean, she's pretty good. She's pretty good. She's like underrated good. So I'm not really too surprised. I mean, I'm kind of still surprised they're losing by 40 to at home. And it's like, ugh. But they are a younger team, man. So, like they have a one like veteran, like Cam McBride. Tiffany Mitchell is kind of a veteran. I mean, younger veteran. I mean, Cam McBride's kind of like if he's like a younger vet. A good young core to build around. I don't, you know what I mean? So they could get like sneakily good in next like so many seasons. It's just gonna take time. It's gonna take years, seasons to improve. It's not gonna be like, oh, they're gonna be like amazing in like this season. They might be amazing next season. Like they have more experience, but it might be like 2-3 years. I could see them actually slowly creeping up. Last year they're really down. This year they're in the middle of the pack. I mean, next year I could see them being like maybe not challenging for a championship, but being up there in the semifinals. Maybe if they get maybe being in the semifinals. Maybe like top 3. Maybe if they win their semifinals, challenging for the cup, but not championship, not winning it. And then I could see 2 years maybe getting in the realistically I could see 2 years being challenging for the trophy, but probably if they keep on that trajectory, probably 2-3 years, because they have some stacked drafts coming up, really stacked drafts, really Haley Van Lith, you got Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, Cameron Brent, you got an insanely stacked top core. You could be in any pick in the lottery basically. Get a superstar, and if it's next year or the year after or something like that, maybe in the next couple years. So you could be happy with any one of those players pretty much. Whoever you get, so it's just you take what position you need. You'll be happy. So I mean, yeah. So they could be like they could contend in like I could see them in a couple years contending for the championship or at least the semifinals. At least semifinals. In a couple of seasons. Making a push for it, and it's just gonna take slow and steady time. But I can see no problem going. The Sky, I don't know what they are. They're kind of like a young core. They're like doing like the old school way, they're trying not to rebuild. Like James Wade wanted to not do a rebuild, so they brought in Courtney Williams, Marina Mabry, and they kept Kalia Copper, and they had a good bit of like younger talent and like people that were on like last year's team but weren't like necessarily like stars, like on that team. No Julian Alman, no obviously no Emma Meesseman. They sat out because of the prioritization rule. But the other everyone else is pretty much new, or from last year, or for just people that were like not like Dana Evans. You have Alana Smith, who's really good, been really solid this year. But you just have a lot of young pieces that you need to like work on. And James Wade's kind of left them. It's kind of like, what's their identity without James Wade? As coach. Like that's what they really need to find out this season. I think what they need to do is just do enough to if they do enough just to make it to the playoffs. I think this will be a successful year for them because James Wade left them to go to the Toronto Raptors and be an assistant. I'm sure he's coaching like summer league right now because I know like for NBA because I'm sure the assistants will do that. None of like the I don't think you see any like head coaches do it unless you're like a new head coach, unless you're like a brand new head coach or never been a actual head coach in NBA, just been an assistant. Then you might do it, but usually the assistants do it. He'll be on the bench for summer league doing all that stuff, and getting used to talking to players at least for a little bit, like on the phone or if they're doing like off-season like workouts with the players maybe. So we'll see on that one, like off-season workouts, trying to get ready for this regular season. So we'll see on that one. But if they get to the playoffs this year, not fall in the 9th spot, not the Sparks get in, I think that'll be a success for the year. This year for the Sparks. I mean, it's kind of like Kurt Miller kind of need a fresh start, and he brought Jasmine Thomas from Connecticut. He got the McKinnons, which are probably pretty much gonna stay. You got kind of a mixed bag right there. You got some old players, like some new players on different, like some good players, like role players on different. It's kind of like a bunch of like role players mixed with a few starters. You got like Jasmine Thomas, Diego McKay's. You got like Jordan Cannon, who's kind of like a role player. You got Edgar Stevens, who's kind of could be a starter, but it's kind of more like star role, or it could be a role player though, either or, kind of like an either or, depending on what team she's on. You have like Carly Samuelson. You have Katie Lou, who's out due to being pregnant this season. She's got like you just got like a team that's kind of mixed bag. You got new and you got old. You got younger pieces and you got older pieces. So it's kind of like a mixed bag, right? This for them. But I also see them as just like if they make it to playoffs, I see that having a successful season, making it the top 4, making it to the 8th seed, being a successful year. Honestly, maybe the 7. I just don't see them getting like any higher than the 7 as right now. The Fever have been close like this season, winning games. They almost beat the Aces one game. They almost beat the wings by point in Sunday, and today this morning they took the morning after, early afternoon game. They took the almost took the they almost took the Liberty to L, but they lost in overtime. So that's really promising. So if they can instead of having this momentum streak or losing, they lost 8 in a row. They were 5-7 for that losing streak. So if they can get some wins and actually get some wins under their belt and actually really actually get some wins out of this after just falling so short, falling just so close but not enough, just super short, just not enough, just barely not enough to win. If they can pull together some wins versus whoever it is, like even if it's a bottom team like Phoenix or Seattle or like that's like same record wise, or like Sparks or Chicago or Minnesota, the Lynx. Like those teams are, even if they can get some wins, even if they have to get wins against them to build their momentum, to build their up, to build them up, say, hey, we're winning now. That propels them. Even if that has to propel them, and they can get a steal win versus like the Sun or the Liberty or the Mystics or like the Dream or some team like that. The top tier, like the top 4, top 5, like the top teams that are under 500 teams. Then it'll be like really, good. Even if they steal, say, win versus Sun or Liberty, that would be like, I mean, they stole a win last year, I believe, versus Sun, but it's like, so I mean, I could see it, like that's what they need to do, just get a win, finally just get a win versus someone, and then hopefully it can build them like a little bit of winning streak or, instead of falling just absolutely short again. Crush, because you kind of feel bad for them. They're doing all this work, and it's actually showing that the work's like actually working. But it's just they're so ultra short, close, pulling together. Seattle. Now Seattle's kind of a bit of in a rebuild, obviously, this year, and they're not like really doing anything. They got Drew Light, who's been on the tier, but has foot sprain, I can believe, or some foot injury. And then we have her. We got Skinners. You have Ezzy Magmagora. You got nice, and you got Sammy Whitcomb. You got some nice players. Nice role type. I mean, Ezzy's like a defense player. But you got some nice role players in Sammy Whitcomb and Skinners, are starting, which works for them. Could start or could come off the bench, either way for this team. But you got some nice, good players, you know what I mean? But they're not like top talent, so you just need someone. You kind of just need, like, this year, like, we're not going to contend this year, like, given what we got. But can we learn? It's just a learning for this team. Can they learn? And then when you get a few more pieces or two more to win, to like get themselves up more, then they'll win. Then they'll start being more competitive. I mean, they're being competitive, but they're just not like quite there yet. They're. And then we got the Phoenix Mercury this year. This is pretty much just one of those years where they went I believe they've pretty out with injury. What team is that? Was that the Phoenix? Is that what the injuries on? Or is that the Sparks or something? I can't remember, but I know Brittany was out. Brittany Griner, I know Dan Trezzy was out with injuries. I know Sophie Cunningham is what I believe. With injury, so maybe I'm wrong but on that one, but I know they've been kind of beat up a little bit. And playing, like without their stars, and it's tough, And it's more of just like I think what it's gonna this year more of just a. I think what this year is gonna be is I think Diana Taurasi wants to get to 10,000 points in her career, and then she'll be the first player ever in the WNBA to get to 10,000. Then she'll call it quits. So this year I think it's more of just a hey, like you don't like I don't think you intentionally say it like that, but you if you know what I mean, like you say, like it's hey we got Diana into 10,000 points. If she that's kind of like I kind of implying that she wants to get 10,000 then she'll retire, which I'm kind of feeling that. So if she does, she gets 10,000, she retires. Then you have Brittany Griner, and you have a few like Michaela and Werday. You have Sophie Cunningham. You got like Megan Gus. You got some good players. They got good players on that team. It's kind of like a role player team. Kind of to be honest with you, besides like Diana Taurasi. I mean, she's kind of in like a role player stage. Could be a starter stage. Could be either or at this stage in her career. You got Brittany Griner who's coming, obviously. What happened in Russia. I'm not going to get into that. And that BS will be in the comments if you agree with it. If you don't, like really, not. I'm not. So, not. This isn't about that. Talking about that. Just even no matter what though, if you're in Russia, in like a country where they didn't necessarily treat you the best, no matter, you're gonna be in like a rough situation, and or you know what I mean, or who you are, and it's awesome that she's come back to play. She's been training, and she's training when she got released. She was, and playing well, and she's been doing well, for what she's put through. So it's like, it's kind of like a win-win, like she's playing getting back to her normal self. Like Diana Taurasi's looking to get to 10,000 points in her career. More of just kind of like it's more of just kind of like I think this is kind of secretly like a farewell season for Diana Taurasi. Like, she wants to get to 10,000 points in her career. Will she do it? Will her team do it? Will she do it with the Mercury this season? I mean, kind of selfishly for the Mercury. I mean, yeah, they'll keep Diana Taurasi as long as she wants to play, because she's like even if she's not like playing at her ideal level, she can be like a leader, like be like the leader role of this team. You need some of them players in your team that are like necessarily like maybe not be the greatest player, but can be a leader for your team. Or like some of these players, like might not be the greatest, they might not play the most, or they'll either be at their best in their careers, but be like an aging veteran. She got that career. You got that one that can motivate you in the locker room, or can see it from what you need to do better. Like say a bench player that can see what you need to do and help the team. Hey, you should each player focus on what you need to do. And can see it from like a coach's perspective, and then as translate that as like a player perspective, and so help these young players out, rookies out, young like role players out, help them out as well. So yeah, but what, it's 4-15. I don't think they're gonna be too much, but they just really, I think what they need is like to rebuild, like actually do like a full deep down rebuild. Like get rid of not Brittany, like keep Brittany Griner, keep you keep I think you can keep Megan Gustafson, you can keep like Sophie Cunningham, you keep Michaela Nwerdy, maybe you could probably keep Brianna Turner, maybe Shea Petty. Honestly, you keep all of them, but like the players are kind of like rookies or younger. Maybe either you keep them or you get some more like off-season free agent moves for them. Kind of like role players that have been in the league for a little bit and know their roles. You know what I mean? Or just or if these rookies or younger pieces, you just give them a defined role and say, hey, we expect you to do this. We know you're good at this. You know you've been good at this in college or overseas. Hey, can you prove it to us? Can you show it? Can you do this for us in the WNBA? That's what they need. Like those type of players, like that you can give them a well-defined role. Like, hey, we don't need you to score a lot, but hey, can you make it? Can you guard can you guard like Asia Wilson and try to instead of for getting 30, can you limit her to say instead of limit her to 20, or can you limit say Kelsey Plum from having say a 20-point night to maybe say a 10-point night? Like limit stars or try to like limit stars best they can. Or hey, can you or hey, can you you're really good offensive, or like, hey, we need you to score, like, hey, can you go out and score like 20 points tonight for us? Or can you give us like, score or assist? Well, you might be a good scorer, you might be a good assister, you might be a good rebounder. Like, can you like, hey, we might need you to score tonight. Hey, it's my night to score, I'll score. My night, like, I have to pass out to say Michaela Nwerdy, pass out to her or whoever on the team. Pass out and give assists, give good assists. Or my night to say and then chip in maybe a few rebounds or something like that. As well, if I can get a few rebounds, you know what I mean? But just like that, pretty much, like stuff like that, so like on this team, on the Mercury team. And it's more just, and then especially if Diana Taurasi does, like, I don't know how many points, I know she's, like, this season, if she gets, like I know she's like 500 points away, it'll be 5 points a game. I think she's like 100 let's say she's like 130 away, 120 away. She needs like 6 points a game, 6-7 points a game on average for the next like 21 games. So if she can do that, average that a few points here, a few points there a game, and then end up getting 10,000 and retiring, and then she ends up says, hey, this is like a secret farewell tour where she doesn't or like nobody knows that she's retiring, but she ends up doing a sneaky off-season retire, like she gets 10,000. Like, I think this is kind of her actually like retirement in a sense, even though no one's, she's not saying that publicly. Like, I do think it is, to be honest, because she gets her 10,000 point, and then she ends up like retiring at the end of the season. I bet you she does. Or if she gets her 10,000th point before the season's over, before her last game, not in her last game, I think she'll announce the retirement. I think she will. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if the last Phoenix Mercury home game is like packed out, even though if they're at the bottom of the barrel. So like last place, team. Who are they playing last game of the season? Like, let me see. Who are they playing last game of the season? Well, not Sunday. They're playing the Aces. No, playing the Aces on home. Don't be surprised at this game. It actually gets a lot of fanfare if Diana Taurasi is like retiring. Or the game's like, hey, she's at like 9,090 points. Like can she get to 10,000 this game at home? Like against the Mystics, or maybe she might do it. I mean, if there's a game that she's really close to in her home, I wouldn't be surprised if she, like people come out to support her or her retirement if she ends up retiring. Like fans at home games come out to support her, or last one especially. So it's like stuff like that. I could see it, no problem. I could see it. So, running like a sneaky retirement. But yeah, so that's it. This is kind of long-winded. My thoughts on the 2023 WNBA standings as an All-Star break. So, it's the conference. No, the conference view is top 4 in the top. That shows you top 5 in the East, 3 in the West. But the East side is better than the West, though. I mean, last season, I believe it was Las Vegas, the Dallas, and then Seattle. And this year, it was 5 teams last year's every year. But I don't know if Atlanta was in the first one. No, Atlanta. No. So was it? Spurs weren't. Phoenix was it? Oh, Phoenix was. So it was 4-4 last year, so. Because Atlanta and Indiana weren't in it, so. It could be 4-4 this year if the Spurs can do that. Just sneak over Chicago, so. Yeah, so there you have it. So my thoughts in these things 23 as of the All-Star break. So until next time, take care everyone, and I'm gonna go post this video and watch the Spurs or get destroyed by the Aces, because it'll be fun, seeing as an Aces fan, seeing them absolutely destroy the Spurs on the road. That'll be fun. Mention even if it wasn't at home, it'd be even fun. If they were at home, then it'd be even funner. Hearing that crowd, that'd be even funner yet. So, hear that crowd. So, so yeah. So next time, take care.